Okay. Do you remember how to do this, Valerie Lynn?
Yes.
Why are you
Of course
laughing?
I do, because I always do such a good intro. Welcome to
Oh, jeez.
Okay, take two. Welcome to Wholehearted Living with Valerie
And Benny.
This is the podcast where one of us brings a subject and the other one doesn't know about. And then...
And hopefully we do something that's gonna help you guys live wholeheartedly.
See, I did good.
Yeah, kind of.
I'm very, very good.
Yeah. So anyway, guys, it's been a while. You've listened to some repeat podcasts. We appreciate those of you that have been listening. And
Ish.
What's the matter?
Because we didn't keep. I
You guys
actually
never told me which episodes to rerun, so
I know.
nothing has been going up.
Oh, well, by the way,
Moms?
that's Iggy. This is Iggy,
Oh,
our
Iggy,
sound
hi,
guy.
Iggy, our sound guy.
Hello.
Did you put moms up or no?
No.
Oh, I thought there was a couple that we did in this like 4-week period that we missed.
Nothing went up.
Oh, well.
Thank you for listening now.
On Instagram, if you looked at the Instagram post, I did say, be sure and listen. Oh, no, you didn't have to put them up. I said, go back to those episodes with mom is what it was. Yeah.
Okay. So there you go.
But if you didn't do that, do it now.
Well, do that now. Because we're going to end up, this is actually not a surprise episode.
No.
Our sister's going to be joining us in just a second because we're going to talk about that whole experience. But before we get there, was there anything that you wanted to say?
No, let's just go right into it. No, just after all that. No, we haven't talked to you guys in so long. And I feel like there's so much to catch up on, but I don't even know where to start. Like, I don't know where to start.
So,
Okay, well, here, I'll start with this. Iggy got married.
Iggy is married! Yay! So I do want to talk about that day because, first of all, the setting was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. I don't think you could have asked for better weather. Is that a fair statement? All you guys were there. I don't
In the
think you
sun,
could
it was hot. In the cold, it was cold. In the shade, it was cold.
In the cold, it was shade. And no, I don't know if it was hot in the sun, but it was nice in the sun.
Nice. It was nice.
But if you did sit in the shade without doing much, you would get a little cold,
chilly.
but not cold. Like, I mean, in other words, it was just a little chilly. Yeah, but it was beautiful. It was really nice. Mm-hmm. We made do with some of the hiccups that nearly every wedding has. Mm-hmm. What do you think, Iggs?
It was good. If I had to do it again, I wouldn't change anything.
Oh, nice. Even the music part, that kind of the microphone thing.
It's kind of on brand for us.
Yeah.
So it was so funny, folks, that well, first of all, there's a little bit of issue with a generator. So then the whole system had to be moved over to like a plug-in place, but that meant that the actual wedding couldn't be mic'd, but they still could do the music for the people walking in and all that stuff. So
but then it cut out when Trinity was walking
That's what
down
was
the
so
aisle.
funny is everything goes great. Everything's going wonderful. Everybody goes down. Everything is done. Patty and I are walking down with Trinity and we get right to the end of the aisle and literally right when we get to the end of the aisle, no music.
Cuts out.
It cuts out. Just goes bye-bye. And but we went down, and Jen, who officiated the wedding, is a very quiet person.
Yeah.
But she did
She
great.
did great.
She
Yeah,
did
you
great.
wouldn't
You
know.
could
She's
hear it.
quiet.
You could
Yeah.
hear the whole thing.
No, it
And I
was-
thought it was so fun that she started to do it with marriage.
That was very funny.
And for those of you that have seen Princess Bride, it was really funny.
I never saw Princess Bride, but I thought it was funny that she started it like that because I know it's not her. And
Yeah.
so I thought it was funny. And then obviously Peter looks at me and is like, you don't know what that means, huh? I'm like,
Wait, you've never seen Princess Bride?
no.
Oh my God. I don't even understand. You go to church, right?
I do. What does that have to do with a price of
It's
tea in
like a
China?
required Christian movie. Well, I'm just saying because it's like there's nothing bad in it whatsoever.
Oh,
Yeah, so
I
it's
don't
like
know.
so whenever you did
Now I want to see it because I want to hear my wedge.
Whenever you did Christian youth events or anything like that, that's the movie you would show at the time because it was funny and there was nothing in it that is bad. So it was a big deal.
Well, that's cool. Well, I will watch it one day, I think.
Oh, it really is funny. I mean, it's stupid. Don't be looking for award-winning movie.
Oh, it's stupid. Oh, I thought it was not stupid.
No, it's
Oh,
silly.
is it? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, you know what's really silly?
No, what?
we've been watching all the reruns of
You know the problem with having a group at the
it's
podcast?
way too loud. Hello.
Hello. Podcast. Jeez Louise. Yeah, don't. Okay, go ahead.
A little loud back there. Who invited Trinity?
My husband did.
Okay.
No, what
you.
I was going to say is really funny is Impractical Jokers. We were dying last night. Dying.
I don't know what this is.
Oh my God, you do
Ben,
too.
Something's wrong with you.
The 4 guys that do Impractical Jokes.
I know 4 without
They're
you showing me.
improv 4. They go, oh my gosh. I can't even explain it. You really don't know what I'm talking about?
No. You haven't seen Princess Bride. Don't give me crap.
Iggy, have you seen Impractical Jokers?
I've seen little bits and pieces of it,
Oh my goodness gracious.
so I
Okay.
know what they do. But
They are hilarious. And we were dying last night. I dozed off on the couch. And then a few minutes later, I woke up and Peter had it on. And I just like started busting out laughing. And I'm barely awake because they are hilarious. If you've not seen it, you've got to watch it.
Okay.
I'm not even exaggerating.
What is it on?
You can just watch it on YouTube.
Oh, okay. YouTube.
It is hilarious. So we were just laughing because I can't even explain what they do. It's basically 4 guys. They're 4 best friends, and they used to be improv friends. And now they go out and they do these jokes to each other. So they wear an earpiece, and the 3 other guys are behind telling them what to do. So for example, there's 2 of the 4 guys at like a deli shop, and they're going to make a sandwich for a guy. And so in the earpiece, they'll say to him, okay, for every single thing the guy orders on his sandwich, you got to make it really exciting and happy. So then the guy will go, yeah, I'll take like a turkey with rye. Rye! Oh my God, rye! Whoa! 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 And they're like booby bumping each other, and like the guy's doing like a grind, and they're all excited.
A grind?
And then
Can't do that at church.
literally. And then the guy will say, oh, yeah, okay. And the guy's staring at him like, and he goes, okay, and I'll have some pickles. Pickles! Oh my God! Woo! 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 And they're just like going to town, and it's just hilarious. You have to watch it. If you can't get the vibe, then I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you.
Is it funnier than what you just did? Okay.
It really is. I feel like we should pull it up and just watch it right now.
Yeah,
together.
well, let's just watch Princess Bride too. Everybody, we're going to watch it on fast forward.
Oh,
Okay. Like
okay.
as if there is one.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, well, I think we're going to jump into our podcast. What do you think?
I think it's a good idea.
So we're going to jump into our podcast, folks. What we have is when we left you guys last time, I believe that we told you that
Told you?
my mom fell down and she got a concussion. And that, that was just a bummer. And there was a lot of issues, and our mom is funny and blah, 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 blah. Well, if you wouldn't believe everything that's happened. And so we are going to pause for a second. Well, actually, you're not going to realize that we paused, but we're going to bring in our sister, and we're going to dialogue about what happened. So we'll be right back. All right, folks, a few months ago, we had our sister on. So this is Stephanie. Say hello, everybody.
Gosh, what's your words doing? How are you?
I don't know. I'm having a problem with words today. Yeah. So we wanted the 3 of us to talk because, first of all, we just kind of got to give you a rundown of what's happened. So I wrote some things down. Do you guys mind if I give some of the rundown? Because I actually have it in the calendar.
Sure.
So here's the deal.
Oh my goodness. I thought I
Here
was always
is the
one
deal.
that couldn't speak.
July 28th, my mom fell down. So that was when she fell down. August 30th, she had some struggles with some daily routine activities that led to my dad calling me and saying, we need to take mom to the hospital. Mm-hmm. So one of the big things that happened after her concussion, and after the doctor basically said, anything that's going on with your brain right now, we need to know. And so when she had trouble with some daily routine things, like one of the things was she literally couldn't figure out how to lower her recliner chair.
And just to input for 2 seconds, in between that day and the day of the fall, she had gone back to the ER or what have you a couple of times because she couldn't get rid of a headache, or she couldn't figure out why she was so nauseous still. Mm-hmm. And so there was just a few of those trips, but then they're like, you're fine, go home.
You're fine. And so then I get a call late at night on the 30th into the 31st. And they're just doing all kinds of tests. And honestly, we've actually bragged about the fact that our folks don't get sick. So it was not even that long beforehand that we were saying how healthy they were.
Mm-hmm.
And in my mind, I'm just thinking this is all going to not be that big of a deal, but it's important. But I was glad we were there because it's a brain thing, right? So you have to deal with it. So then we go into the second September. Well, first of all, I was surprised because they said we're keeping her.
We're keeping her.
And so when they said they were keeping her now, what we should say is that she had received a CAT scan. So for those of you that aren't aware of a CAT scan, because I wasn't 100% sure what it is, but it's a radiation type thing and it measures, well, in her case, it was measuring how much blood was in her brain between, for lack of a better word, the sac that holds the brain, which is the derma and the skull. And so there's it was between the brain and the bag. Mm-hmm. And so what ended up happening was, in that short period of time from Wednesday when they did a routine check to Saturday, it had increased by, do you guys remember 2 millimeters. Well, that was a concern for them, which 2 millimeters doesn't sound like a lot, but they were like, that's a problem for us.
Because it should have, at that point, from the fall,
decreasing or staying the same.
Exactly.
Yeah. So they were concerned about it, but they didn't necessarily say what was going to take place. Mm-hmm. By the first, we're finding out that she's going to have surgery on the second, and that was a little mind-boggling. And so then they gave options for surgery, and every single person under the sun that was in the hospital said, "You want to do this one surgery that I'm not going to remember the name of."
Embolization. MMA. It's an embolization.
And so what it was is basically putting in some scientific glue that was going to stop the bleeding.
So it wasn't a craniotomy, meaning they're not going to cut the cranium. They're going to go in through the hip and they're going to shoot. Basically, they're going to take, for lack of a better word, a wire or a tube going all the way up into her brain, and they were going to put some kind of glue to stop the bleeding. Mm-hmm. And eventually the other bleed will absorb into the brain.
The residue blood that was already there would be absorbed.
Right. But what happened
was, it was supposed to be a 2-hour surgery. And so this is the big deal, is it's supposed to be this 2-hour surgery and 4.5 hours transpire. And we're going, what's going on?
Yeah.
And finally,
quietly to ourselves.
Yes, quietly to ourselves, because our
I
dad,
think if it was just the three of us, we would have been like, why is it taking so long?
Yeah,
but we had Dad with us, so we're like, yeah, they probably didn't start on time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And so then what ends up happening is the doctor finally comes out and she says, and by the way, she is the head neurologist for this hospital, and she says,
and Cedars-Sinai.
And she said, I got one side done well, but the other side, I couldn't get it. And so I tried and I tried and I tried and I couldn't get it, which obviously led us to say, well, what does that mean? And she goes, unfortunately, it means the surgery I didn't want you guys to have, she's going to have to have
it. Yeah.
The craniotomy.
Yeah.
And so that's a craniotomy where they were going to put two, originally they were even talking about just doing one. And then they said, you know what, we're just going to do it on both sides because we're already going to be there. So we're just going to go ahead and do it.
Right.
So next episode, guys, because this is going to be a double episode, we're going to get into a little bit about our feelings about what's going on and so on and so forth. I'm trying to just give you guys a rundown real quick. So 3 days. And so, by the way, we get out of that surgery and our mom is a mess. I mean, she does not look...
She's not responding well to the anesthesia at all.
Really poorly. And again, we'll get into that.
And probably because, I'm assuming because they gave her enough for 2 hours, basically. And then they're like, okay, keep giving her more. Keep giving her more. The doctor's still there. We got to give her more. We got to give her more.
And she's not a person who medicates herself ever.
At all.
So this is like a new world for her that she's all of a sudden getting.
So she came out of it where we were, I think all three of us were just like, startled. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
This is, oh my gosh. I don't even know what to think.
And then what was really hard is that we couldn't tell her that what you want to say to a person right there is everything's great, everything's great. And we ethically, or I don't know what the right word is, we couldn't say that because it would have been wrong. It would have led her down the wrong path.
It was
so what we were
scary.
saying, and yeah, it was scary. It was a scary time. She clearly was scared. And I'm going to fast forward, just give you guys the timeline. So we're just going to keep doing the timeline. A few days later is when they gave her the craniotomy. And then, and the long and the short of that is that it went really well. That was done the way it was supposed to. Everything happened exactly the way you wanted to.
She came out of anesthesia way better.
Way better. And, I don't know if she was getting used to it or what, but that was September 5th. So then September, which by the way, this is very important to note, it was the Chiefs game. And so...
that is the most important thing.
So then on the 9th, I just wrote a couple things. She's standing finally, so that was a big deal. On the 10th, she actually took a little stroll around the hospital. We already mentioned that Iggy and Trinity got married on the 14th. Obviously, they did not go to that. And that means that she is in the...
rehab center now.
She's in the rehab center now. And
she was doing
so
amazingly
good.
well,
Amazingly.
looking like mom, talking like mom, moving like mom. It was exciting, and we all three of us took a picture with her. Thumbs up, she's going home tomorrow.
Yeah.
And so
we
excited.
just happened to be there at the same time.
And we all were there, and we're just, Dad's like, get a picture, and we thumbs up, yay, going home.
23rd, on the 23rd, she's supposed to go home. Everything is finally done. They did some modifications to their house for her to be able to live there. And so the 23rd, she's leaving. She's like the star patient. She's going ahead of everybody.
She is the star patient.
And at 11 o'clock, she's supposed to leave. And on the 23rd, our dad contacts us and says...
Well, he goes to pick her up.
Yeah.
And he says, Doralee, which is our mom's name, why are all the cards on the floor? Mom was playing solitaire while waiting for Dad to pick her up. Why are all the cards on the floor? She's basically said, I don't know. I couldn't shuffle them very well. And they went over the floor. And then she goes on to tell him how she dropped her milk or her coffee and her water. And he's like, what? So he runs out to the nurses, and I think if I was standing there, I might be going, Dad, are you overreacting? But he did the right thing. He's like, goes to the nurses. They immediately started hooking her up and giving tests to her. Her left hand was not working well.
Well,
at
and
all.
in the meantime, she's texting.
Slurring.
In the meantime, Dad has told us. And so now we know. And I just remember, so some of you listeners might know that we've talked about our dad before, but he can sometimes overreact. And so because of what's going on, we're trying to figure out what we should do. What's the response? And I just said, I'm going to call Mom. I called Mom. So I ended up calling Mom, and I start talking to her, and I can't remember the word she said, but she said a very specific word that she slurred.
Yeah.
And I said, Mom, can you repeat that word? Because I just thought, did I just mishear her? And she said it again the same way. And I said, Mom, and I didn't want to startle her because I really, it's like I didn't want to say, Mom, you're slurring your words. What's your problem? So I said, Mom, you don't sound right. There's something going on. And she goes, and she literally said to me, I think I'm slurring my words. And so I said, Mom, I gotta go. And so that's when I went back and said, Dad's not lying. This is true. Something needs to be done. She's having a stroke.
I had talked to her before you even talked to her that time. And I had noticed that she was slurring her words. And I thought, this is just really weird, and that's when Dad started getting, because he was like, what should I do? And I said, yeah, you need to go tell the nurses everything that's going on.
Well, now we're saying to Dad, because at first we are usually trying to calm our dad down.
Yes.
And this time we're saying, Dad, everything you're feeling is right. You need to be talking to everybody that this needs to be fixed.
Right.
So by the end of that day, she's in a regular room in that
very same hospital. They switch her to a different floor that deals with.
In a different part of the hospital.
Yeah, it's not rehab. It's like for actual medical
patients.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so then she...
They start doing tests on her.
I don't know
They
where
start doing tests on her. Now I'm just going to quickly go through this. On the 27th, so now she ends up moving back to the original hospital.
No, because you're missing a lot, and I think this is huge.
Oh, go for it.
At the rehab center facility where they moved her to a different room because now they're going to monitor her for a possible stroke, they kept negating the stroke
Oh, well, that's-
because they kept saying
Yeah.
nothing is showing in her CT scan, nothing is showing here, nothing is
In her MRI. They
in her
gave an
MRI. And then, okay, she can't lose. Now, by this time that we've seen her, she can't use her left arm at all.
No.
At all.
And her cheek is dropping.
And her cheek is dropping. And so we're like, okay, what?
Doesn't
What
take
are
a
you
rocket
guys?
science.
Thank you, thank
Yeah.
you. We're all three. We're just like, this looks like a stroke. Then the doctor in there goes, it could be a pinched nerve. And I was like,
we were like
I
thinking,
was
I don't
there when
understand.
the doctor said that, and
I
I was
was
just like,
livid.
Really?
Yeah.
You're trying
So-
to tell me that what's going on is a pinched nerve?
yes. Okay,
It was
maybe
just
for the
crazy.
arm, maybe she has something with her shoulder. But
Yeah.
what about the slurring and
Yeah.
the droop lip? You know.
Yeah.
So
The droop
I
lipping? Did you say
immediately-
droop lipping?
Droop lippy. And so I immediately the next morning start getting on the phone and calling to have her transferred back to Torrance Memorial because I was like, I don't know what's happening here, but I don't
Right.
like it. So all I know is if you've had a stroke, you have a window of opportunity to treat it,
Right.
and they missed
Well,
the
to
window.
mitigate any long-term effects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we don't know if it's a stroke, a mini stroke, a small stroke. We don't know because they're telling us it's not a stroke
But
at
it's just
all.
like you said the one time. You said if it walks like a duck, it quacks like
Thank
a duck.
you.
Yeah. And so
Thank
the
you.
point is that for us that are lay people,
Yes.
everything about this said stroke,
Yes.
and yet they were saying we don't think it's a stroke.
Exactly. It's slurring her, everything. So, needless to say, before she went back to Torrance, there was a lot of phone calls and where I actually said to the person that I was dealing with, like, if you can't get her back to Torrance Memorial, where her neurologist is, where blah, 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 blah is, I will hold you personally accountable. And she just said, let me see what I can do. And then within 2 hours, we got the call that she could be transferred back to Torrance Memorial. And I'm not trying to say, oh, pat me on the back for that. But I was just like,
No, I was
they
grateful
would
that
have
you did all
dragged
that.
their feet
Yeah, for
to the
sure.
point. Yeah. And so,
And by the way, and Dad was doing the same thing.
He was calling as well.
He was calling as well. The problem is that Dad cries wolf too much.
Yeah.
And so then
because he's like, why did they answer your call and not mine? I'm like, well, Dad, you call him 35,000 times.
Yeah,
Let me-
exactly. And he doesn't get to the point a lot of
Right.
times. There's a lot of beating around the bush. But so now, you guys, she's back at Torrance Memorial, and so we're thinking, okay, hopefully the level of care is going to increase. It's going to be different because honestly, the hospital that she was at wasn't a full hospital. It was something else. And so, what's the matter? You can say it.
No, I was just going to say we don't need to say the other hospital's name.
That's
yeah,
why
yeah,
I just
yeah.
said
Okay,
rehab
okay.
center.
Yeah, rehab center. And
yeah.
so then what ends up happening is that because honestly, everybody said the rehab center at this place was
It's amazing.
excellent. And it was.
It is.
It honestly was.
It really
it's just
is.
not. It's not a main hospital. It's just not their main thing. And so then we ended up back at Torrance Memorial, and then. Friday morning, so that was a Tuesday that she
Was supposed to
dropped
come home,
everything
and
and
then
she's come
she-
home. Wednesday she's home. She's back at Torrance Memorial, I believe. It
Wednesday night.
Wednesday night, and then Thursday and Friday she's there. And then Friday, I was the guy that would go early in the morning there. And Friday morning I get a call right when I'm there, and she's had 2 seizures.
Yeah.
And so this is a big deal. And so it's she's not getting better. And so this was just unheard of for us because every time something would happen, she would get better, or at least there was something. And at this
glimmer
time,
of
we
hope.
still have
And
not
it was-
been told that it's we still
No, we still haven't been told it was a stroke. Yeah.
And so now she's having seizures. So now they're having to put medication in her. And the whole time I was there, she was out. I never talked to her. And then I just remember that was the first time of talking to you guys on the phone when I was giving you guys an update. That I wept on the phone. I was I couldn't keep it together because I was like, I don't understand what's going on.
Yeah.
And then that led to that. But here's what the most bizarre thing. So we're almost done with the timeline, guys. But that was a Friday. By Monday, she was practically normal.
Right, because it turned out that the MRI showed, they did another MRI and it showed that she had 2 mini strokes
Yeah.
and that she also had 2 seizures. So we at least knew that the mini strokes, which can have symptoms pretty strongly for a period of time, but they can go away.
Yes.
Yeah.
Reverse. So that's kind of what was
and
going
that
on.
was amazing to find out it was a mini stroke versus a full-on stroke.
A full
Yeah.
stroke. Yeah.
But
So then October 1st, the long and the short of it is by October 2nd, she's playing dominoes. By October 4th, she's dancing. And by October 9th, she's home. And so that's the long and the short of the story. So we have just a few more minutes on this particular episode, but I just want to know what you guys like. First of all, Valerie, you already interjected some, but was there anything else that you guys can remember that we missed, like in terms of details? Because we'll get into the weeds on how we felt and how we dealt with it.
I think for me, my point is that since mom got so much better and she was feeling so good after having the surgeries and then declining, she's like, Mija, did you know I had 2 strokes? Yes. Did you know I had seizures? Yes. She goes, I think for me, it hurt me because mom is such a faithful woman that she started saying, you need to pray for my faith. And that hurt me because I was like, she goes, I just have to keep asking why? Why would you let me get better? And then this happened, you know? And that bothered me because I thought, oh my gosh, of all the people I know that has such faith all the time was questioning. And that hurt me because I realized that's how much she was struggling to go that far, you know?
Yeah.
But
yeah, there's a lot of stuff that, most of my stuff has to do with the feelings about it. So I don't really have a lot to add to the timeline or anything. So
Go for it.
Yeah.
What?
Go for it.
About my feelings?
Sure.
Oh, I think that for me, I felt like we had to be the cheerleaders. We had to be the ones to just keep the faith, believe that everything's going to be okay. And for the most part, I always felt that way. It was only until the mini strokes and then when she regressed so badly that I actually, for the first time, felt like, am I being in denial? Do I need to like start accepting that this is the way mom might be, you know, without having use of her arm and everything like that? I really started struggling that maybe I am actually kind of just trying to.
I think because mom is so freaking strong and and she's so like determined. And then when you can look at her as so helpless and that she can't lift her left arm and she's trying so hard and she couldn't. And we were just like staring at her going, oh my gosh. And then she was almost talking like she was drunk. She was talking like slurry. And then she would laugh at the weirdest things and say, oh, you know, I'm peeing, you know, or things like weird. And you're just like going, oh my gosh, this isn't mom. You know what I mean? Right. And so it was so hard to see her like that.
Well, and then for me, the couple of times that probably you mentioned the faith thing, but for me, the thing that was the hardest was one of the times that I was talking to her and she looked at me and she said, hi, Patty. And she said, we could hear you guys. And she said, she goes, I'm not sure. She goes, am I going to die?
Yeah.
That was the
and
thing
when
that
she
really
said that,
me.
when she said, am I going to die? I thought, oh my goodness, she really has no radar for what's going on with her right now.
But we didn't
sadly,
either
we had no answers because I was freaking out.
I think because like you guys just said, we were the cheerleader the whole time. And then once she had the strokes and then once she had the seizures, we're just like, I don't even know. And that me, Benny were on a three-way call and it was like 6 o'clock in the morning, 5:30 in the morning, whatever it was. And Stephanie was like, should I send Jonathan home? Should I bring Jonathan home? And we were just like,
ironically, literally, I
in the office. No, you didn't ask. You asked in front of us. You literally walked out or saw the nurse and just said, is this life-threatening? And in front of, I mean, we could hear you. And then she's like, no. And you go, no, it's not. And we're just like, because to us, this is all unfamiliar territory. And it was like, is this life-threatening? But the way she said it was almost like, no, seen this before, done that, you know, whatever.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it could technically be, but at the same time,
everything
not
could
necessarily.
Be. And ironically, you know, just a little medical stuff if people care, but the stroke was not a direct effect to the concussion nor the surgeries.
Though.
It's indirect in the fact that you're 83 years old and you've experienced as much trauma as she did, that's going to increase the likelihood of a stroke. But it really, it
wasn't a result.
It was totally
a
separate thing. So when she had the stroke and when all this is going on, we're thinking that it has to, or I was thinking that it had to do with the concussion and then the surgery and why is it, what do we need to do? You're not giving the right medicine or something like that. And they're like, this is a different thing.
Yeah.
This is altogether different. This is a whole new thing. It just so happens that you happen to be at the hospital when it happened. That's the only thing. And not only at the hospital, but you were about to leave. I mean, it was literally like, okay, you're done with the brain thing. Now we're going to go
I'm
with
thankful
this.
that she was still there. Imagine if she had gotten home and then we would have been like, what the heck? And we had to bring her back. And
no, that would have been freaky. Yeah. And it was weird because she didn't know what was going on either. She's thinking I'm going home.
I know.
She's totally thinking I'm going home, and all of a sudden she's at a point where it's just not working. Well,
and then there was a point where Dr. Willis did come in and say, okay, he still couldn't identify. Dr. Willis is the assistant to the surgeon that did the surgery. And he goes, we still don't technically know if it was a mini stroke or a stroke or whatever, because it's still not showing up on the scans. And I said, well, can you see a mini stroke in a scan? And he said, no. And he goes, so all the symptoms point to a stroke. So we're going to treat it like a stroke, but it's just bizarre because nothing is showing up yet. And I think a day later, maybe it started showing up that there were the actual signs of it in the scan. But I do remember Stephanie calling. It was the day after the seizure, or the day of the whatever it was. And I went to see Mom. And then Stephanie was on her way and she was like, I don't know if I should go. I don't know if I want to see her like that. And
because I was bawling the whole day, and I was the same way, crying. And I was like, "Is this really good for me to go?"
And she was afraid that she was going to be crying in front of Mom. And I said, "This is exactly how I felt coming. Like I've had the same feeling. Like I don't know if I want to see her like this, and I'm going to break down, and I'm going to be." But as soon as I saw her, I had to be the strong person. I had to be like, "Oh, Mom, you look good," or whatever it was, just to give her some kind of encouragement. It broke my heart that she couldn't use her left hand and she had to use a walker to go to the bathroom. And I kept trying to put her hand on the walker to help, and it just kept falling. You know
what was weird too was, Mom is the caretaker, right? It was weird that I fed Mom more than multiple times. And then
you're better than me. I was like, Mom, you can do this.
No, I'm talking about when she couldn't. I'm talking about when she couldn't right after, especially the first surgery. After the first surgery, she was, we didn't talk about it, but after the first surgery, guys, she was looking into space.
I know.
She was not.
It was scary.
She was looking into space, and she was not there. And you would try to engage her, and she'd kind of look at you and smile like she kind of recognized us.
I didn't even see an engagement. She honestly just stared at the ceiling, and I was just, and not even see. It was. I just saw the white of her eyes, and what scared me the most was to keep hearing her say over and over again, Jesus, help me. Jesus, help me. Like, I think she thought she was dying. Like, I really do.
Well, then she also, they did these tests every 15 minutes where they would say, okay, where are you? What's the date? Which I always thought was a weird question, because if you ask me right now what the date is today, I can't tell you. But
during the summer when I'm out of school.
But I'm sitting here going, but they kept asking her the date. They kept asking her where she was. They kept asking her, what was the other one that her name? They would ask her name,
her birthday,
and her birthday. And so a couple times, and it was a little scary because they would point to us if we happened to be there, and they'd go, "Who's that?" And I was like, "Oh God, don't do that, because it's going to kill me if she can't say my name."
Right.
But thankfully, she always did know my name. But it was hard for me a couple times when they did it, and I'll never forget. Though I told you guys this, that she said she was at a supermarket, and
then one time when she said it was the year 1020 or something, and we're like, just listening, and they go, "What year is it?" And she goes, 1022. And then she's like, "No, it's 2025." And she's, "Oh," she just, and then she goes, "What's the date?" And they go, she goes, I forgot what she said. I go, "Mom, it's Benny's birthday." Oh, and I still don't think she remembered, but it was just like, it was hard to hear that.
Yeah.
And then one time she did know the day that it was, and then they go, "Oh, that's great. She goes, "I cheated. I looked at the whiteboard."
Yes.
But she was smart enough.
At least she was smart enough to look at the whiteboard. But yeah, it's ridiculous how they do these tests every 15 minutes for 24 hours. Now, no, I think they did it for 6 or 8, and then they did it for every half hour. And then it was like, but anyway, the point is, I'm thinking, man, if you woke me up every 15 minutes without surgery, without the medication, without everything, I'm not sure that I'd be there.
And that was the other part of the situation, is that they said that she had ICU delirium.
Yes.
Where you do kind of forget where you're at. You do kind of have this, you get confused easily and things like that. So it was always kind of a challenge to distinguish between what was that and what was actually caused by either whatever the issue was
Right.
at the time.
Or
Yeah.
even just being tired
Yeah,
in
or just being-
general.
yeah, exactly.
Well, the funny thing is Stephanie and I left the hospital together one day, and I ran into a friend I work with, and Michelle Tomei.
Oh.
And her aunt was in the hospital.
Wait, is Michelle Tomei Sherry Tomei's sister?
Yeah.
I'm still dating Sherry Tomei.
Oh, wow. That's weird.
In fifth grade, I asked her to go steady with me, and then we
You
never
said
talked again.
I'm still dating.
I know, because we never broke up. I asked her to go steady in 5th grade, and then I never talked to her again the
That's
rest
so
of my
funny.
life. So we're theoretically still
together?
together.
Well, anyway, Michelle was there visiting her aunt, and she was talking about her aunt and the decline of her aunt's health. And she said something about, yeah, and she's doing this, that, and the other, or saying this and that. They're calling it, it wasn't ICU, but like hospital delirium or whatever it was. And I was like, oh my gosh, we just heard that term with the
Yeah.
ICU delirium. So it really is a thing.
It's
Yeah.
a thing. So guys, this is what we're going to do. We gave you guys the update. I'm hoping you stuck with us. I'm hoping it was helpful. And what we're going to do is we're going to kind of take a break, and we're going to bring you guys back in next week, because we're going to talk about how we three dealt with it together and just how we were able to process it, because honestly, I think it was a really healthy way we did it. So you're listening to Wholehearted Living with Valerie and Bennie, and this time with Stephanie. We're at wholehearted_living_podcast on Instagram and on YouTube. Thank you, Iggy, for keeping us in sound, and we will see you guys next week.
Bye.
Ciao.
Bye.